Greetings, Stash Wyslouch here. So today I want to continue our series on skeletal melodies, and I want to propose one variation, that is omission as a concept. So by virtue of having done a skeleton, by excising every other note, all the eighth notes for example, we've already done a little bit of omission, namely playing a tune and omitting notes of the original version of the tune. But I want to take this and go a little further with it and be a little more intuitive and improvisational about it. So let's take a look at Ragtime Annie and our level 1 skeleton. The basic premise is randomly but intuitively in an improvisatory fashion, omit notes as you're playing the tune. Do it exclusively with the quarter note version. And again, the prerequisite is that you can already comfortably play the regular eighth note melody and the level 1 skeleton extremely comfortably. I don't care about speed so much as confidence, even at an extremely slow speed. How do I measure confidence? Is my body totally relaxed when I'm doing it? Am I getting tense right before certain parts? That probably means I'm not as comfortable and they're not flowing quite as easily as I'd like them to be in order to execute these kind of improvisational concepts. Let's just practice omitting notes from our level 1 skeleton.
2, 3, 4.
Etc., etc. Just do it in a relaxed fashion. Set the timer for 5 to 7 minutes. Right now, my strum machine's at 50 beats per minute. Cool. Just practice. Sometimes what ends up happening is you basically end up drifting into, for example, a level 2 skeleton, or where you only play it as half notes, or maybe you might play it as a level 3 skeleton where it's only whole notes. But the idea is with this sort of loose, intuitive approach where you're sort of dealing more with moment to moment, practicing actually improvising and being in the moment, these things happen naturally as opposed to the calculated fashion that you might do them when you're structuring your practice at the beginning of your practice session, for example. And I think putting this kind of improvisational moment to moment thing into your practice routine is really important, because when you get out in the field and are actually playing these tunes, well, that's ideally kind of the state that you need to be performing, is being in the moment. You don't want to go into a jam and think, okay, now I'm going to play a level 1 skeleton. Boom, okay, now I'm going to play a level 2 skeleton. Okay, now I'm going to play the straight up Kenny Baker version. No, you want to be in the moment, responding to your surroundings, responding to your own interior sense of what you think should be happening in the tune at a given moment. So this is a pretty basic and maybe obvious quick tip, but the idea is practice omission. Practice doing the thing that we've done in a very structured and rigorous way, in an intuitive and improvisatory way. Just take notes out and see what happens. Thanks so much for tuning in. Get access to supplemental materials Patreon exclusive workshops, and all 60 plus lessons I have available online by becoming a Patreon on my Patreon page today. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for subscribing to YouTube. See you next week.